Boy, update my YouTube thing. Can you guys hear me well? I feel like there's an echo in here.
No, you're good, man.
Okay, all right, perfect. All righty, well, good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. I know that it's been a while since we had our Monday Mortgage Minute. Moving forward, they will be, going back to the same consistency we had before. Just trying to get my feet under me, with the transition, and I just got in office like 30 minutes ago. Because when we came, they were still kind of building it out for us and stuff like that. So, they finally put me in 2-1 where I can have Monday Mortgage Minute and not be in the pit with everybody around, as it is really loud out there. That's really the reason why we haven't had it for the past few weeks. Also, um, pretty much what we're going to be talking about today, I've been spending the last few weeks putting together for 2025. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a very fun year for me and the team, and I hope that you guys will be able to have the same success that you guys have had the last 2 years, right? So let me start going here. Now, I did this presentation last year as well. Last year we did it late or later than usual, which is okay. Today we're doing it, or this year we're pretty much doing it right on time, because it is going to take it does take typically 60 to 90 days for your business to turn, right? So if we have goals for 2025, we definitely cannot start them in January, because those activities that you're going to be doing in January won't come into fruition until March or April. And then you're already behind the 8 ball, right? We want to do it consistently on a rolling 12. 2025 essentially starts around October, November. So while people are slowing down now, especially if you want to take your business to the next level, next year, the time to start is pretty much around this time. It's not to start in January when everybody's slowing down, or just getting back into the motion of things. So let me put this into presentation and I'll share my screen. We actually did it with the loan officers here in the office last week as well. Business planning, I have a template that is specific. It's very similar to what I'm going to show you today for the loan officers as well, going over their goals and things like that are typically really useful. You guys know the template. I sent it over to you guys a few weeks ago to start working on it. And today we're just kind of go over how to input the stuff, the information, what to expect for yourself and stuff like that. So every business is different, even in real estate, right? You guys may be buyer's agents, seller's agents. However, you run your business a different way. Your admin days are going to be this day. The services that you provide are going to be different than the next agent next to you, right? And so considering those services that you provide, even though you're going and trying to service pretty much the same clients, or not the same clients, or maybe like I don't mean like an actual client, but I mean like first time home buyers, investors, things like that, right? Even though you may service those groups, you're going to do it differently. So in this presentation, we'll be going through different plans that you should be putting together, and your goal should be making your business monotonous, but not in a bad way. Okay, meaning that you should be repetitive, right? Doing the same thing over and over again. That's how you're going to be successful, is being consistent over time. So I can give you guys one clear example. You guys that have been with me for the past few years, Monday Mortgage Minutes, right? Besides this last month, trying to revamp and do different things, which we'll talk about towards the end of the presentation. It's been pretty consistent every week. Maybe we miss a week, but we've always been here every single Monday. So doing things like that as well, okay? Making sure that you are consistently doing the same things over and over again. So your mission statement, always start your business plan with these same 3 questions. I do it all the time, right? There's a quote here from Touche. He's asking me what I do and who I do it for, right? What is your why? So why did you get into real estate? Why do you continue to do it? And what do you want to get out of this? Every single year, those 2 answers there at the bottom, or those 2 questions, should have different answers, right? Why do you continue to do it? Well, this past year, my reasoning for this year is different than it was for last year, right? What do you want to get out of this? My goals this year are slightly different than they were last year, right? So those two questions shouldn't really have the same answers unless you are still trying to go towards that one goal that you had, you know, a year ago, which is okay. But always answering these questions for yourself is super important. For instance, when you're looking at your business planning, right? This is real life. If you want to have a lot of money, you're going to have very little time, right? To do different things. Unless you just get lucky. But if you want to have a lot of time, you may not have as much money as you want to make. Right? You can still make a good living, especially in real estate. And that's what's the beauty about this business is once you get the ball rolling, it's very simple and easy to be consistent. Consistently doing the same amount of business as long as you're focusing on those activities. So when you start to do your goals, before you get deep into how much you want to make, understand what that means to your time. Let's coming in. Understand what that means to your time and how much time you will have to do other things, right? So coming in and saying, I want to make, $500,000. That means that's going to take up a lot of your time, understanding that, right? And making sure that it's not going to be very easy to make that money. What activities do you need to do to be able to get there? So the first thing you need to do is write down your personal goals and your business goals, right? Separate them. And then those can be income related, traveling, hobbies, etc. And then once you have those, you order it from what's the most important to you to the least. And that's where you kind of figure out, okay, based off of all my goals that I have, right? I've spent my priority a lot is personal, right? Which means that time. Right, I want to travel. That means you need to have time to travel. Right, I want to spend time with the kids. You need to have time for that. Right. If you're kind of in the middle, that means you're going to get both. You may be working, 50-hour weeks, 60-hour weeks, where you can still make these activities, especially on a rolling 7 days. But just considering that, right? Not just putting, I want to make X amount of money and not really understanding what it takes to do that, or vice versa, right? It's best so when it comes to your financial goals, it's best to work through it. You will realize your income goal may not be difficult to attain. So for instance, when we're doing the spreadsheet, which I'll pull up after, right? Let's say that number is $100,000 at commission. That's what you want to make, right? That's usually everybody's first goal is 6 figures, right? How much did you make in 2024? What was your average sale price? What was your average commission? You need to figure these numbers out because that's how you're going to be able to know moving forward in 2025 how to be able to calculate that. Okay. Now, how many homes at the average sale price do you need to sell to make $100,000 with the average commission? Meaning, if your average sale price is, let's say, $400,000, right? That's what was your average sale price in 2024, right? After you've calculated how many homes you sold and divided that by the total gross sales price that you have. So if it is 400,000, how many homes based off of your average commission that you made in 2024? Because it's not going to be 250 or just 3, right? And there's a calculation to do that, which we'll look at below. But how many homes at 400,000 based off of your average commission is it going to take for you to make that $100,000 annual number, right? And you can also estimate your hourly worth with this as well. And this will help you as you build your business, right? When you're looking at outsourcing or when you're looking at things that you don't like to do with your business, you look at these activities and say, how much can I pay somebody to do this work, right? If it's a $15 an hour job or $10 an hour job and you're doing it, then what is your time really worth to you? You believe that you're worth $75, $100 an hour. You need to get there. How do you do that? Well, you start to remove those minute tasks away from yourself, right? I'm very big when it comes to investing in your business. I put my money where my mouth is every single day, because I know that what I want to accomplish and what I want to scale to, right? So previous year, let's say you did $40,000 in commissions, selling 5 homes, and the total was $1.5 million in volume, right? So you basically did 5 homes, 1.5 million in total. You have about $40,000 in commissions. Okay. Your first step to figure out what your average commission is very simple. Your $40,000 that you made, divide that by the gross volume of the homes that you did, and that's going to equal to 2.67% average commission in this sense. Okay, so anywhere between that 2.5 to 3, which is good, solid. Now, in order to get your average sales price, you're gonna do that 1.5 million total volume divided by the amount of units that you sold. That means your average sales price was $300,000. So on average, you made $8,010 per home sold, right? Because you took that $40,000 that you made divided by 5, that's gonna get you that $80,010 per home sold. So if you're doing $100,000 in income as your goal, and you divide that by your average commission that you've made per unit, that means that you're at 12 and a half or 13 homes next year that you need to sell. So in order for you to make $100,000 based off of your business, right, and your numbers, your averages and things like that, you're gonna need about a home. You're gonna need to sell a home per month. It could be buy, sell, doesn't matter, but that's your goal, right? 12 and a half to 13 homes next year to be able to hit that $100,000. Okay, and we'll get deep onto how that works, because a home a month, if you did 5 1 year, now you're saying I'm gonna have to do 12 or 13, I have to almost triple my production. How the heck am I gonna do that from where I'm at right now, right? Well, we need to figure out, and we need to get deeper as to how many leads you've gotten, what that conversion looks like, so that you know, now you're not focused on, okay, home a month, now you're gonna be focused a little bit deeper as to the micro of it. How many leads do I need to get to be able to get that one deal a month, right? So for instance, how many leads did you get this last year? Well, maybe you got 24 leads, okay? And out of those 24 leads that you got, how many applied with the lender? Okay, 12 applied, so 50%. The other 12 didn't. They fell off the face of the earth for whatever reason. How many got approved? Well, 6 were approved, 6 were denied, right? Not a good conversion rate for your lender. So when you're looking at these numbers, it's like, okay, if 12 people applied and only 6 got approved, what happened to the other 6, right? Is it your lender? This will be it's a little bit strict. Is it you're not really talking to these borrowers up front and figuring out if they have any issues, right? Vetting them. So 5 units sold is what you had last year, right? Now we're gonna do that 5 units that you did divided by the total leads that you received the whole year, okay? People that basically said, I want to buy a home. 5 divided by 24 means that you have a 20% conversion, okay? That means that 1 out of every 5 leads that you get will close on a home, is basically what this number means here. Because if you got 24 leads and 5 closed, that conversion 20%, 1 out of every 5, means that you will have a closing, okay? So if your goal is 13 units sold, then you have to get that 13 units divided by your conversion rate, which is 20%. So 13 divided by 20% would mean that you would need to get 65 leads in 1 year, or 5.41 per month. So in this case, you average 2. All you need to do is figure out how to get 3 more leads per month based off of your conversion to be able to hit that $100,000 a year. You see that? So now we're not focused on, okay, I have to do a deal a month. Now we're focusing on how do I get 5 leads a month, right? And 5 good leads, right? We're not talking about direct to consumer. That's out the window, because if you do direct to consumer, you will have to filter through more of those leads, right? But just specifically based off of the business that you're doing now, how do you increase from 2 leads a month to 5 a month in order to be able to hit that $100,000 based off of data, which is really what runs the world. The biggest companies run on data. And what I'm trying to teach you how to do is run your business from data, and you'll get to where you need to be, because now you're very hyper focused on what needs to be done on the daily. So with these numbers, there is no guessing on how much you need to do in order to get to where you want to be. And it will also show you where you need improvement within your business, like I mentioned, right? That 50% conversion from lead to application. What was your follow-up on the other 12? What did that look like? Same thing on this 12 and 6 approved. What happened between the other 6? Were they valid reasons or not? So now we're going to get into what activities or what marketing you need to do or put on your business plan in order to get there. Guys, the one thing I can tell you is put on there what you really know you're going to do and what you're really comfortable with doing. Okay, for instance, the number one thing that I see on business plans is always social media marketing. Okay, don't bullshit yourself. If you're not good at social media marketing, don't put that in your business plan, right? Or maybe you do put it, but you do it at a reasonable rate for yourself. So maybe instead of doing, I'm going to post 5 times a week, maybe saying, you know what, I'm going to ease into it. I'll do 2 posts a week. There'll be flyers or something like that just to get the rhythm going until I feel a little bit more comfortable. But do not outstretch yourself in any form, please, because then you will start to not follow your business plan, which is not what we want. Okay. So if you're going to be doing cold calling, okay, who are you going to be cold calling? FSBOs, expired, pre-foreclosures, how many calls, at what times are you going to be calling? What is your follow-up? You need to get very specific in your business plan. And make sure that on a daily, you say, okay, I'm going to be doing cold calls every day. Okay, perfect. How many calls are you going to make? What times? Are you going to do it by time frame or by amount of phone calls? So are you going to do it every, like 1 hour a day? Like for me, I'm doing 1 hour a day. There's not a specific amount of calls that I'm supposed to make, but you could do it the other way. I need to make 20 calls. I'm going to be doing them to these different types of groups, right? And I'm going to carve out this time during the day to be able to do that. Okay. And then plugging it into your CRM, what is your follow-up? And if you're door knocking, where are you door knocking? Stick to a farm area, right? Are you going to be getting with marketing material? What kind? What cost? Right? Not just, okay, I'm going to go show up with a piece of paper and hopefully somebody is able to or wants to list their home, right? A lot of times what you could do when it comes to door knocking, like if I were doing that, I would essentially have a door hanger with a QR code, or some sort of, if it's not a door hanger with a QR code to give information to them about their neighborhood, it would be direct information about their property specifically, where I could do that by dropping off a folder or something like that, and I can do a CMA for their home, right? And say basically, if you were looking to sell or take out money and buy an investment property through your equity, your home is worth X amount, right? And now that's value that you're giving them. That's an idea that you can use. Same thing with social media marketing. Who is your target audience? How do you engage with them? What is your brand? What do you post? Where are you posting? Right? Is it just Instagram? Is it Instagram and Facebook? Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? Right? Think about all of these things when you're putting together your business plan, and this business plan will help you do that. Events/networking for different organizations. So you can be on the board for cities, right? A lot of times the complaint I hear about realtors and when it comes to real estate organizations is that you can't get business because it's from other realtors. Well, you could do one real estate organization and you can do organizations that are not specifically real estate focused, right? You have one called Emerge Broward that I used to be a part of that I'm going to be doing again this year. That's just young professionals in Broward County. So they may work at corporate companies, right? And they do events. BNIs have different people that are not in real estate, right? Creating your own BNI. You can do that as well. And you're the realtor, you have a lender, now you start getting accountant, an accountant, you guys meet once a month, break bread, and that's it. There's different organizations that are not real estate specific. I will tell you to always try to be a part of one real estate specific organization because you want to make sure that people know you when you're doing listings, when you're doing the buy side transactions and things, right? You want to be able to be recognized, and it helps you with your clients and getting deals done and stuff like that. Your inner circle. So if you're going to be focusing on your inner circle, maybe you're relatively newer to the business. Okay. Well, how does your inner circle see you right now? Do they refer people to you, right? Because when we all first get into the business, right, the number one thing that they tell us to do is reach out to friends and family. Very, very rarely does your family trust you when you're first starting out in any business, right? They have to see those stripes as well. So consider those things, right? How are you going to build trust with them? And then buying leads. Okay, where are you going to buy leads? How much are they going to cost you, right? Because that's a monthly expense for your business, and you have to carve out that expense to make sure that you can continue to do it every single month. But you need to get very specific, okay? And then marketing funnel, right? Like I mentioned, once you do those activities, whatever that is, your door knocking activities, your cold calls, right? What is your game plan for those clients to be able to continue with that follow-up? Because you don't want to get 24 leads and only 12 apply, right? So how does your follow-up look right now, and how can it get better? A clients, B clients, C clients. Everyone you speak to is a lead/potential client all the time. Okay. If you do a video, I love your video. I didn't know that about FHA loans. It's a response that you get. Let's say somebody responds to your video about that. Well, why are they watching a video online about FHA loans as an end user, right? That's a lead. Thank you. I do quarterly seminars for people just to teach them about the home buying process. Here's a link for you to sign up for my next one. And it's an Eventbrite that's already scheduled 2 months in advance. right? And now if that's what you want to do next year, is a lot of first-time homebuyer seminars, right? That's a lead that you can invite to that one, right? Based off of the video that you posted. So capture their info and now put them through your funnel. Maybe you don't get their information. Maybe they don't sign up that day. And all you have is their IG handle. And maybe their name shows up on Instagram. And that's it. You don't have a phone number and email. It's okay. In CRM, I'll put IG at blah, 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 blah. This person liked FHA thing, invite to home buyer seminar. And then now you have that follow-up there consistently. You know, every time you see that person come up on a follow-up, you reach out to them on IG. Hey, how's it going? How's everything? You know, how's life? How are you? Good, great, perfect. Okay. A clients follow up consistently. B clients follow up not as consistently, but staying top of mind here and there. C clients follow up every now and then. You should have campaigns for buyers and for sellers. So you guys should be doing buyers campaigns and sellers campaigns so that you can put them into those different. And then if you have those 3 different follow-up systems, then that means that you should have 6 in total. 3 for buyer clients and 3 for seller clients, and maybe even more than that. I have a bunch of different campaigns that I've mapped out myself that I'm even working on fixing up now for 2025 as well. Campaigns should have a mixture of video, email, text, and calls. Think about how you would be as a client and how you would be receptive to marketing campaigns, right? You can be as aggressive as Fashion Nova or as passive as you want. You're going to be doing business with clients that you get along with, that trust you for the most part. It's very rare that you get a client that both of you can't really stand each other, right? It's more so you attract the people that you market to, essentially. Consider clients that are leads, pre-approved, under contract, and past clients. Are you going to be doing closing gifts? Are you going to be following them on social media, right? All of these different things, you start to get ideas for them. And then very important, I started this off by saying, you know, I truly believe in investing in your business and putting your money where your mouth is. Huge. I'm huge on that. I will make sure I can do what I can to make my business work, right? And I'm not afraid to do it. And this is something where I think as real estate professionals, we shy away from. We don't want to do that because then it's a burden. Then what happens if you don't sell? Then you gotta fire that person or get rid of them. You know, all these things, they do run through your mind, for sure, 100%. However, you believe in yourself, truly believe in yourself, then you know that will not happen, right? And you can start off with something as simple as a VA, which I have here. VA may cost you, you know, $7 an hour, $8 an hour. I think now, like on average, like around 10, but I'm pretty sure you can get one cheaper, right? And maybe they're only doing part-time work for you, but they're getting rid of the admin work. Because now if they're getting rid of 20 hours worth of work every single week for you, because that's what you're hiring them for as part-time, it means you got 20 hours to go door knock, cold call, do these things. Imagine investing another 20 hours in just focusing on sales activities, calling people, marketing, branding, all these things. And you're getting away from the admin work. How much more successful would you be, right? How about when you have a buyer that's pre-approved, right? Maybe getting a showing agent, someone who's new to the business. You don't want to waste 3 hours a day showing properties, right? Somebody that you trust, that you build rapport with, there's another agent, right? Kind of taking them under your wing. Hey, this is what to look for. This is the client. This is their specifics. And now you're saving 3 hours to go show that property, or to not have to show those different properties. The client, all you're doing is following up with them, right? And that'll save you some time. And then you just pay that agent a percentage of what, you know, once the deal closes, whatever that looks like, and what you guys agree on. All right. So to have time and money, you will need someone to take some responsibility away from you both. Remember, we started with, do you want time? Do you want money? Do you want both? If you want time, you're gonna need to hire out, even if it's somebody very simple, or, you know, wherever you lack in your business and where you're not perfect at. If you plan to do social media marketing, a VA is a great way to start putting those things together for you, those marketing tools. A lot of VAs have experience with doing that because that's usually the number one thing people hire VAs for, right? So doing that, and then that way you're not the one that's having to be creative with the posts and stuff like that. ChatGPT as well is your best friend. You can always ChatGPT real estate topics to speak about, right? And now it's getting even better where you don't need to have the enhancement. You can literally go on there and say, what are the top real estate stories this week? It'll tell you. It'll search the internet, it'll tell you, and then you can make a video about it. And then you're top of mind because you're going with what's trending. super simple. Tools, right? You made your marketing plan and mapped out your funnel. So what tools are you going to need and how much does it cost you? So are you going to get an online number? Or are you going to be doing it based off of your cell phone, right? Do you have, are you going to be investing in ChatGPT, $20 a month? Your CRM, are you paying for that, etc.? How much are your monthly tools costing you? Professional development, super big, right? Invest in classes, seminars, join organizations that can put you in good positions. Understanding your retirement as well and how to properly get your taxes done is also very key. If you really want to continue to push your business forward and make sure that you're not selling to the day that you die, right? And I mean that by saying that to say a lot of us don't have retirement plans in place where we can, take a day or two to do that. And then that way we're not actively always having to sell and to get commission the next, next month, right? Are you going to be doing investments, right? How much money you're going to have to put aside and budget for? Things like that. You need to consider these things. If you're not going to be doing investment properties, most of us are, but let's say for whatever reason, you also want to have your own retirement account. Okay, you should be talking to a financial advisor. A lot of you guys know Max. He's very good because he doesn't have a minimum that you have to invest with him and he'll be able to sit with you for free and put a plan together. You don't pay him. He gets paid off of basically the services that you end up using, right? So if you end up opening up a retirement account, right, the broker will pay him directly. So you're basically getting this knowledge for free, and he will set you up with different things that he believes that you need. So I definitely would recommend Max Sanchez. Reach out to him online. I think he's like a finance something. And then your overall costs. So standard ops costs for your business, right? Your car, gas, time, etc. You can write off your car expense monthly when you're using it, right? You're using your car for business probably about 80% of the time. On your tax returns, you can write off your car as an expense. And if you do that, guess what? When you apply for a home, we don't have to hit you for that car liability because it's a write-off. It's a business expense that you've put on your taxes, right? These little tips and tricks you can look into for it to make sense for yourself. So every business is different, even in real estate, whether you're a team leader or an individual agent, mapping out your year ahead of time is a must. You should be doing the same things over and over again. The key is being consistent, like I mentioned, okay? Just be doing the same things, be consistent. Now, really quick before we go, I'm gonna pull this up here. Where is it? There it is. All right, so this is your business plan. You guys should have a copy of it. This is what it looks like, right? So I have already filled this out before, but we can go again, right? My name is Mike. The date, I typically want to do the date that I actually fill this out so I can remind myself when I did my business plan, right? So 10/21/2024, and we're going to be starting this as soon as possible. So let's say my income goal for next year is 200,000, right? I don't want to do the 100,000. I want to push myself, right? I want to do 200. Okay, well, based off of what I want to do income goal wise, right? We know how to get the average percent per commission, right? Basically the amount of money that you made last year or year to date, whatever that looks like, divided by, let's see this one here, all right, divided by the amount of units that you sold. Right here, commission or the volume that you sold, right? That means that my average commission is 2.67%. Okay. Great, that's where I got that. So you're gonna do it in hundreds. So if you're at 2.5%, it would be 250, right? You're gonna do it by hundreds. That's the way the thing calculates it. So if you try to do 2.67% and you try to fill this out, it probably will show you something incorrect here. Now, what percent of your business volume goal is buyers versus sellers? Well, last year I did 75% sellers and 25%, or sorry, 75% buyers and 25% sellers is what I did, right? Well, based off of that, okay, that means that in order for me to get to $200,000 at 267 basis points, I need to sell $7.5 million worth of real estate, and my monthly goal, divide that by 12, is 624,220. Now, this yellow, these greens already auto-populate. All you have to do is fill out the yellows. Okay, so we established that my average sales price was what, 300,000, right? So at 300,000, if I wanted to make $200,000, that means that I need to do 25 units next year, right? Or you know what I say, I'm going to tweak my my brand, my marketing and branding, and I'm gonna try to go for the higher price one. So I believe that by the end of this year, my average sales price is gonna be $350, right? So at that point, okay, I need to just focus on 21 units, right? 21 units this year, which is still about two per month, give or take, right? On average. And based off of my buyers, if I'm at 75% buyers, that means that my buyer volume needs to be at 5.6 million, right? Because 75% of 7490 is 5.6. That means I need to do 16 buyers next year. And then if I'm at roughly about 25% of my business is sellers, that means that I need to do at least 1.8% or 1.8 million next year, which is about 5 sellers. And if I do those, it should be at 21, I should be at 21 units, right? And now my pull-through percentage. So your pull-through percentage is usually going to be different between buyer and seller, right? Because once you get a seller lead in front of you, that conversion typically is much higher, right? It's harder to get a seller lead, but once you do, your conversion is usually much better, right? So you look at how many seller leads you had last year on your CRM, how many did you end up closing? Well, if it was only 2 and you closed 1, that's 50%, okay? And then same thing for your pull-through percentage for buyers. Well, we established that my buyer pull-through was 20%, right? Because I had 24 leads last year, and out of those 24, only 5 closed, okay? So that means that if I want to make $200,000, my pull-through percentage for my buyers is 20%. My average sales amount is 350. I'm going to need 80 buyer leads next year and 10 seller leads next year. That means that in total, I need to get seven buyer leads per month, 7 buyer leads per month, and 1 seller lead per month. That means that I need 1.5 buyer leads every single week. That's super simple. That's a lead a week. If I have 7 days to work and I'm doing everything I'm going to be putting here in my business plan, and I'm doing it consistently, I should be able to get that right. So you'll see here, I already pretty much pre-filled it out. Hosting brokerage open houses, social media presence, cold calling 3 times a week, door knocking 2 times a week, joining chambers and be involved in public service, okay? So as we get deep in that, what does that look like? So hosting brokerage open houses, right? A lot of us may have, maybe with a brokerage or with a team that has this, decent amount of listings. Well, if we're gonna do, my goal is to do 2 open houses a month, right? As an agent, okay? So I need to make sure that every single week I'm looking to see what open houses they are that my brokerage has, or any listings that my brokerage has, and reach out and see if that listing agent will allow me to do it. Most of the time the answer is yes. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to invest in marketing material for the open houses that are specific to my brand, right? Maybe instead of just doing getting an open house sign, maybe you buy an open house sign that has your logo on it, or your branding on it, or your face, right? Marketing material, flyers for your open houses, right? Teaming up with your lender to get those flyers done. We do that free of charge. We do property websites, all these things, right? So you can leverage that. Now, call the neighborhood the day before, right? Maybe calling your open houses on Saturday, maybe on Friday. What you're doing that day is you're calling all of the people within that neighborhood and letting them know, hey, we're hosting, your neighbor is selling. We're hosting an open house tomorrow from this to this time. Would like for you to come, and you get those numbers online, right? So now you're inviting the whole neighborhood to see your open house and the way that you've put it together, right? It's all about the branding. So thinking of the idea of how you're putting together that open house. And then boosting your posts on Facebook /IG the week before to get more eyes / engagement. So if you're announcing an open house online, if you're announcing an open house online, instead of just using that for your followers, you can boost that, at $5 a day or whatever, and that's going to get more people to look at it and maybe be able to show up there, right? It's all about that engagement. Social media presence, boosting your posts, right? More content, utilizing Mike's social media room every month, following people / starting conversations. What this means is, right, when you are posting online, as opposed to just posting just a post and say I did it, right? If you get a like or a comment from someone, right, that's a good way. That's a warm conversation. It's no longer cold, right? So someone likes it and it looks like it's an end consumer, right? Or potential new lead. You can follow them, then you can start engaging with them, right? And you don't have to be outright like, hey, you're looking to purchase, but you do it over time. Jab, 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 right? But those are potential leads that you'll be able to convert in the future. Cold calling 3 times a week, like we mentioned, right? FSBOs, expires, so on and so forth. Door knocking 2 times a week, what does that look like as well, right? All of these, you can fill this out here. And you can get specific with it. And then join the chambers and be involved in public service, right? You can do a city, maybe the city that you live in, you can join the board on one of the divisions that they have, stuff like that, right? And then as you go through your activities, right, you start putting in your Q1 results, right? So your projections, and then your actual close. So I wanted to get 6 leads in January for $2 million. And then I want 2 closings for 800,000, right? That's what my projections are for starting for January, which I'll know starting December. Well, what actually happened is I only had 4 closings and I only had, four leads and I only had 1 closing for 450, right? So that discrepancy there allows me to see what to better for the next year, right? And this one you don't have to worry about. I just actually got to get it removed. And then your achievements, what did you accomplish from your top 5, right? What kind of opportunities arose? And then what adjustments do you need to make to be able to start hitting those units that you want to hit in terms of leads, right? Our goal is 6 a month for 2 million. How do we get there? Okay. So that's kind of how that business plan works out. I'm gonna open up the floor for questions as I'm running behind on the 10:30 meeting that I had. But do you guys have any questions? No, none? Well, thank you guys for joining this week. We will be back next week, like I mentioned in the beginning of this of our meeting today. We're gonna go back to being consistent. I just didn't have an office where I could actually speak to you guys and not be bombarded by outside noise. And now that I have it, we'll go back to the consistent meetings. We'll be doing market updates, and this year we'll probably be doing some more presentations like this, giving you guys as much info as we can. I can share this. I definitely can, Precious. That's not a problem. You want the presentation, or do you want the business plan? Because the business plan, I believe I sent it month ago. Okay, all right, I'll forward it over to you. All righty, y'all. Thank you guys. Have a good week. If you guys need anything, we're here for you guys.